Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and this is my tips and tricks guide for Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 11. So, as with all these styles of guide, I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff, from the basic moveset to advanced tactics, advanced concepts, and all points in between. So there's timestamps in all these videos, so please use the video description for timestamps if you want to skip around. But first, let's start with the basics here, and let's start with his special moves. So first, let's talk some special moves here, and let's talk the basics here. So these are the core moves, not affected by any variations you may pick. So first up here, we have the Shadow Tackle. That's back forward 2, and it's just what you think it is. He sends out the Shadow, the Saibot, if you will, or the Noob. I'm not sure which one's which. And he'll tackle you. Now, one thing to note about this, besides just the basic stuff here, is the negative frames on block, if it gets blocked, is the same from point blank, see, it says negative 15, to all the way from max screen. Because Noob himself does not recover until the clone shadow misses, hits, blocks, whatever. He will stay in this pose until it somehow is engaged with. Now, that kind of stinks in a way, because, you know, you're kind of locked in the animation. But one thing to say about it is, one, it's a mid. So there's no neutral ducking this, unlike, say, you know, other fireballs in this game. Many fireballs in this game, you're allowed to just duck under for free. You cannot duck under this for free. Also, it does almost 100 damage. That is higher than average, to say the least, for the average fireball. And also, the hitbox for it is as wide as him running. So if you're in the middle of the jump, it can easily rip people out of the air. Either people coming in to jump at you, or them just getting their feet off the ground. So while it's not going to win you, you know, the zoning war from full screen or anything like that, it is downright decent. It's a lot better than people give it credit for. I've seen people downplay this move and, you know, just kind of ho-hum it and all that kind of stuff. And I gotta tell you, hey, it won't win you the game by itself, sure. But as just a downright decent tool, just in most aspects of the screen, I like it. Also, it's a pretty decent combo ender. Our next basic special move here is the Rising Shadow Kick. That's down back 4. That's this guy right here. Now, you might think, well, it looks like an anti-air, and hey, you'd be right. It is actually a very serviceable anti-air move. Not only is it quick, as you can see here, it starts up in 8 frames. He also lowers his profile to the ground, so it's actually harder to hit him while he's doing it. Now, your traditional uppercut, as you can see here, takes 10 frames, so it's actually faster than that, and he's actually safer since he's lower to the ground than the actual uppercut itself. So if you're looking for a quick anti-air, this is actually downright decent. Also, in the corner, this is one of your main corner combo tools, as you can do all sorts of fun stuff with it, as you can see here. So, very valuable move. The final base special move is the Teleslam. It's a very famous, very signature move. He'll teleport up and grab the enemy and smack him. Now, I am in the variation right now where if you enhance it, it actually becomes combo starter. But normally if you enhance it without this variation, it would just do extra damage. So this is a very strong tool for punishing full screen stuff or whiff buttons. Keep in mind, it's actually somewhat difficult to punish some of the faster projectiles in the game, as say Sonya's rings. They actually recover quite quick, and by the time, assuming you have average human reaction speed and you're not just some sort of god, right? If you have average human reaction speed, you'll actually have time to be able to block and then punish you. Also, keep in mind this is a high, so the enemy is allowed to duck it and then crushing below uppercut you. So just keep a note about that. But still, as far as combos go, it's one of his main things. And it gives them a very respectable full screen presence that the enemy has to play around. Because if they're too silly, if they're too loose, then hey, full combo time, go crazy. Now, moving on to the competitive variations. We do have Dark Sabbath and Seeing Double. Now, I'll go over the moves of both. I'm going to tell you right now, Dark Sabbath, this is the one I have right now currently, is sort of heads and shoulders better than the other one if you're trying to play in a serious environment, just so you know. But anyway, so what's good with Dark Sabbath? Dark Sabbath has the Spirit Ball, which is a very traditional style fireball, just like many fighting games. The one thing to note here, it does do 9% damage, 90 damage, as you can see here, and that is higher than average in this game. Most projectiles in this game do 6 to 7%, so it being 9 is solid. Like, it's kind of, you know, it's whatevs, right? No, It ain't gonna win the awards, no awards for fastest fireball or most tricky fireball, nothing. The hitbox around it is a little bit better than average, at least my testing anyways. And it's just downright serviceable. It's also part of the restand, which will get its own whole section in later in this guide, and another reason why this variation is better. But yeah, very serviceable tool and has a very strong gimmick associated with it. Now, that said, the next one here is the EX Teleport, Teleslam here, because this lets you get combos, and combos are very important in any fighting game, right? So you burn a bar after your Teleslam, and they bounce up, and this bounce is also independent of how much juggle or hit stun you've done beforehand. So even if you've done like a big old combo with a million juggles and all that beforehand, that initial bounce will always be the same, so you can always get the kind of the same pre-planned follow-ups and all that kind of stuff. So you can always get that. If I didn't drop it, but whatever, we're recording. That's always how it happens in these videos, but you get the idea, right? Very strong combo starter, and also his damage is quite a bit higher than usual, and that's a really big reason why. And the final move here is the Air Sickle Port. So it's down, back, 4 in the air. And he just kind of goes wherever the sickle lands. Now, if you enhance the move, it actually becomes a launcher. This launcher does not save on block, just so you know, so don't go too crazy. But you can follow it up. It can be a bit tricky sometimes here. The timing can be a little strict, so I suggest practicing it. But you do get follow-ups for it. And it's just basically a mix. Maybe it's not the most advanced mix in the game or nothing, but it's just basically get people scared of the launch. So when you do this, they'll be blocking, and then you can just chuck them or something like that. It's definitely the least important of the 3 special moves, but it still has this value, and it happened to be jumping back and you catch him whiffing something big, as long as it's slow enough, or maybe it's just a lot of windup or whatever it is, you can actually catch him and punish him as well. Seeing double, the second of the 2 competitive variations, the special moves are the Ghost Ball, which is a very kind of slower version of the Spirit Ball, but it also is better in a way. As see here, it says unblockable, and it ain't fooling. That means there's no possible way you can block this move. You're in the way of it, you just get hit. That's it, that's all, that's the end of the story. Also, it drains 1 defensive bar and 1 offensive bar from the enemy. If you look at the bars on the enemy side here, set the training most of the refill, but they do drain, so it's actually a very big reward for hitting this. Now, the thing is, hitting it is the issue, right? As it's quite telegraphed, quite slow, and there's a lot of gimmicks to hit it. Like you can do a string, then kind of end it early and that kind of stuff. But hitting a critically thinking opponent with it is going to be difficult. Now, next special move, we have the Air Teleslam. Now, this is really good. This is the best part about this variation as far as I'm concerned. Because you can just kind of flit around, jump around, and you catch any whiff, boom, and go up. So this is like Kung Lao's teleport in MK9, which had to be nerfed because he goes straight up into the screen, right? So there's very little travel time. Like the regular teleport here takes 30 frames to start up. And if you're in the air, it takes 25. So if you're already in the air, it's actually quite a bit quick to hit. And yeah, that's just really good. You can still EX it as well, but no full combo, as you can see here. The enhance just does more damage. But still, yeah, it lets you just kind of flit around, just not commit to nothing. And second you see something whiff, just whoop, and get your teleport on much faster than the regular grounded one. So yeah, it's a really, really good move. The final move we have of this is the Shadow Slide. Very traditional Noob Saibot here. Now you might notice here it's not a full screen move. And that's a little bit disappointing to some, but still, it's a very solid poke in a lot of regards here. And it's a true low, so none of this mid business where they can just stand, just stand block it. They will have to block this low, and it's a very solid poke here. Now, if you set the enemy to block here, if we do it from far away, negative 15. If we do it up close here, negative 19. So it's not quite like the Shadow Tackle, where it's the same amount of block disadvantage wherever you are on screen. The further out you are, the easier it will be on you. So it's a very valuable tool as a poke, and you're very much incentivized to use it as a poke. But yeah, now that said, between these 2 variations, again, Dark Sabbath is the better variation. You get more damage, you have more utility, you get the very powerful restand technique. Air Sickle Port is edge case stuff, sure, but it's still quite good. It's just all around the better variation. Now, to talk about his Crushing Blow game real quick here, it's not great. He has some, but the big thing here, and this is the best part, is he has a Crushing Blow on both the forward and backwards throw here, as you can see right there. So this is done the usual way here, so if they mess up a tech, then you're primed and you have both options to work with, back and forward throw. I find the throw crushing blows in this game quite strong, as throws are quite good in the game. So the fact that he's loaded up on both front and back, that's absolutely the best crushing blow stuff he has. Now he's got stuff like this here. After the back 1+3. If you hit 2, if you hit it as a counter hit or a punish, you'll get it. Now this is only useful if you don't have bar for your teleslam. And if you don't have bar for your teleslam, honestly, that means you're probably about to win. Like, you probably dealt a lot of damage, right? But still, it's there. It's an option. If for some reason you're out of bar and you get your little whiff punish, it's something, right? We have the EX tackle here. This only happens if you get 10 or more shadow attacks off in a game. In this specific variation of Dark Sabbath, that's never going to happen, to be honest with you. It's never going to happen. Maybe for the one with the shadow slide, it can happen, but that's not really the favorable one. But still, it's still edge case, and it's never worth spending the bar if you don't have the crushing blow, as it does less than 1% more damage. But still, technically, it's a thing. The final one, now this is the one you can actually get a lot of damage off of. The back 3, 1+3. This hits here, and you get a big juggle, and you can check the companion combo guide. You get over 50%. So, if you get so much damage, why is it not good? Because they have to stand block. And there's literally no reason to stand block Noob Saibot. His hop attacks are not good. As you can see, they've got no range. Not to say he can't open people up, because once again, he's very incentivized to throw, and he's got fantastic range on normal, we'll talk about here. But there's literally no reason to stand block against Noob Saibot. So the only way you would ever get this off is you're fighting someone who just doesn't understand how the character works. But still, if you want to see how to do the combos, check the companion combo guide. But yeah, the big deal here is Yo gets forward and back throw as crushing blows. A lot of people would love to have both, and most of the characters that have both are usually not that good, and I think Noob's pretty decent. So that is the biggest feather in his cap as far as crushing blows are concerned. Okay, now let's just talk some normals here real quick. A couple normals are standouts, and they're going to get their own sections in this video. Once again, please use timestamps, skip around if you want. But let's talk about the ones that are plain just good. Maybe don't warrant their own section, but are just plain good. The first one here is the 4-2-2-1-2 string. This is one of your main strings for a lot of reasons here. 4-2 is a very fast move. It's a high, so yeah, you can duck it, which sucks, but... and it's very modular. So normally when you want to do this, you want to hit confirm it. So you go 4-2-2. And if you see it, you go 4-2-2-1-2, or 4-2-2-1, shadow tackle will get a little bit more damage. So it's a very good, just quick check of a move here. As his walk speed is pretty decent here, you can kind of just flit in and out, and if you see them with anything, just 4-2 in, as it's so quick, it'll hit them before they'll have the chance to hit you with whatever, and just go in and get your damage. Now, it's not a lot of damage, it's not the big showcase damage that he's known for, to be sure, but it is still really good. Also, if the enemy blocks the move here, as long as you're hit confirming correctly and not just doing the whole string right away, if you do 4-2-2, see here it's -6, yes, but it's -6 from this far away. So what you can do, you're in prime real estate here. Yes, it's quote-unquote their turn, but what you can do here, you just walk backwards while they're trying to do whatever advancing normal. This is an exceptionally long one. As exceptionally long ones will still get you, but you can do this, back up, then punish them for going for it again, right? Just very strong. Also, once they're got that in their head, that's when you can stand one, and as soon as they're moving forward trying to hit a button, you can go in and give them a nice little smack. Also, the whole string, if you were so inclined, doesn't come out on block. So the final hit only comes out on hit, just so you know. And one final thing here, it's actually very good for basic combo stuff here. This is kind of the easy basic combo string for him. And once again, please check the companion combo guide, but gives you a lot of corner carry, and it is fairly easy unlike some of his other combos. Now, moving on here, B3. B3 has monstrous range. As you can see here, this is the round 1 fight position where we normally start, and it totally hits from this far away. It even hits from a smidge further out. Now, its main use is as a whiff punisher / footsie button. So if you're trying to use that as a footsie button, this is assuming you're in Dark Sabbath variation. The use of it as a footsie button is it combos into your Spirit Ball projectile at all but absolute max ranges. And it's very safe on block for the most part. There's a couple edge case scenarios where it's not, but for the most part it's very safe on block as well. And you can just kind of check people with kind of really advanced range. As a lot of characters simply can't match this range, and the few that can usually have moves that are much slower than this, because this is 15 frames. Like, moves that can match this range generally are in like the 17 to 20 frame range. So this becomes just downright reliable. Also, as a whiff punish. So you're walking in now and you catch them just whiffing whatever button, right? You catch them whiffing up 3 or something on wake up, or just trying to do footsies and you're walking in out of the range. It also does combo directly into teleport. And from here, you can get your combos and go from there, right? So just really strong button overall. Speaking of strong buttons, his down 4. His down 4 is just downright decent. As far as down 4s go, maybe it's not the most range, but it's still more range than most, and that's what makes it good. It's just a solid down poke. This, despite the angle, is a true low. You can see the little arc, and just so you know, that arc does have a hitbox. So if the enemy is inclined to jump at you like crazy, this actually can hit people out of the air, and is serviceable as a panic anti-air when you can't afford to stand or you're going to get hit. So if you're already crouching, this can work, just so you know. And our final move I want to talk about here is 4-3. So speaking of anti-airs, so this actually works really good as an anti-air, as just like some other moves we talked about, like the shadow kick at the start of the video here, it lowers your hurt box, meaning where you would normally be hit, you will not just simply not be there, you'll be lower to the ground and hit them. Now, it won't lower you quite as much as the shadow kick will, right? So if I do it way too late, I'll still get smacked, as you see right there. But it's pretty easy to convert off of. You do want to let him fall a little bit, though, just so you know. As you can see there, that's like a very beginner's conversion, right? But yeah, it's actually quite serviceable anti-air. You can anti-air with a lot of buttons like stand jab, but as you can see here, stand jab, you have to be very preemptive. You have to be very on the ball. Versus 4-3, you can be a little bit slower and still get your hits in. And of course, you know, you have the shadow kick as well, which is really good. But yeah, you can't convert into a full combo from the shadow kick, unlike this. So that just makes it really, really good. I can't really stress that more. And once again, it's decent combo fodder. But as an anti-air, oh my god, I can't find custom, there you go. As an anti-air, he has stand jab, he has 4-3, he has down back 4. He's got a lot of anti-air options. Down 4 is a ghetto anti-air, which works in a panic situation. He's got really good options, but this is a nice, easy, full conversion that is just straight up better than what most of the cast has to offer. And once again, 10 frames here, so same startup as your uppercut, but it leads to more damage than your uppercut, and also it's safer to do than your uppercut. So when you're looking for anti-airs, it's a really, really solid pick. Now, let's talk about some of the more notable normals. They're all going to get their own section here. And what I want to talk about here is down 3. So down 3 does a whole 1% damage. So, I mean, if you wanted to kill them, you'd have to hit them with this 100 times. Now, you might say, well, what's the point? 1%. That sucks, right? Well, the point is this. Look at the hit advantage. So you have 10 frames of hit advantage, right? Now, if you watch any of the previous videos all about jailing and all that, this is directly where we're leading into, is the concept of jailing. So, he has a string called Sand 212. This guy right here. It's a high, so you can't, it's duckable, you can mash down 1, all that kind of stuff, right? But if you hit down 3, since they're in the hit stun here for 10 frames, and your stand 2 starts up at 8 frames, that means they have to get hit by it. Now, they are allowed to block. They are allowed to block. So they can block this, right? But they are in no way, shape, or form allowed to hit any button, not even a fatal blow, or allowed to duck this or jump it or whatever. They have to either block or get hit. That is the only possible option. Block or get hit. That is it. And now the thing, 212 goes right into combos, right? So it's not going to be your most damaging combos here, especially mid-screen. In the corner, you get some pretty decent stuff, actually. Since it already launches, you can't do some of your normal combo routes as you're already starting with juggle. But this the fact that this makes you're stuck. You have to accept the hit, and that's it. So if you've got a person who's very matchy after any down 1, the 212 is guaranteed, and all they can do is block. And also 212, just so you know, is eminently safe on block here. -4, so you don't got to worry about getting punished or any of that fun stuff. So now that said here, it also jails in the 4-2. So once again, no ducking, no pressing buttons, any of that stuff. And since it's 10 frames, also jails into throws, as throws take 10 frames here. So now if they have to block, you can now introduce this element of risk. So if I hit my one single down 3, once again, this is 9 frames, it has a lot of range as well. If you're very far away, the stand 2 will miss, just so you know. So you have to be a decent distance. Can't do an absolute max range. But still, absolute max range, still jails in the 4-2, just not 2-1-2. But yeah, so keep that in mind. If you're far, you want jail 4-2, and if you're closer, you want 2-1-2. Anyways, so once they know they have to block, and if they don't block, they just take damage, you're close enough that you can throw them left, or you can throw them right, and make it a true 50-50. Don't be a sucker and always throw them into the corner, because it's a very easy tech, and that's what people expect. Try to throw them away, take your damage, just a free 14%. And of course, you want to build towards those crushing blows, because he has a crushing blow on both the forward and backwards throw. So it just makes the throw game so much more threatening and all this. And once again, this is all facilitated off the simple down 3 poke. Like, I can't stress enough how good this move is. Also, as far as these moves go in this game, this has like some of the most range. The fact that you have 2 jail options is fantastic. The fact that if you're, you can try to load up your crushing blows on your throws, and you can get throws at all is really, like, it's so good. Like, I see some people bemoan his mid options, because, you know, he has like back 1 and back 2, and it's kind of it for realistic stuff. But he doesn't even need it, because down 3 is that good. Alright, so now we're just coming off the down 3 section if you skipped ahead with your timestamp. And we talked a lot about 2-1-2, so we're going to talk about 2-1-2 even more here. We're going to talk about the 2-1-2 shuffle. So, 2-1-2, as you see here, it's hit confirmable, just so you know. So, you can do 2-1-2, and then like if you get your hit, you can go into teleport or whatever, right? But what you want to actually do here is do 2-1, and then if you see a hit, then you go 2-1-2 teleport. Now, why do 2-1 instead of just doing the whole string? As you can see here, 2-1-2 is -4 and 2-1 is -5, so, you know, it's technically one frame, no more negative. It's not even, that's not a good thing, right? But what it does, so notice the spacing here. So if we do the whole string, -4, we're here, and if we just do 2-1, we're over here. Now this is perfect. So when you're this far away, a lot of characters have down 1 or down 3s or whatever that can hit, but at this range here, most of the cast cannot hit with their sample pokes. Now Noob can, because his down 3 is that good. But most of the casts cannot reach with a poke from that far away, or even a string starter from that far away, right? So a lot of people, after they're done blocking, they want to take their turn, and this is where you really mess with them, because you have this distance created from this. So the 2-1-2 shuffle is just simply this. You can go 2-1, and 2-1-2 again. As the second hit of 2-1-2, the one part here, naturally hits from that far away. So while they're whiffing their down 1 or whatever, as long as they're not a character with exceptionally long pokes, you can basically easily counter poke them. It's really that simple. It's really strong. Also, if you want to get a little crazy, I can walk backwards if they do have longer pokes, and then go for like a whiffed back 1/1+3, that kind of stuff, or whatever, right? Just the fact that it creates some space that's usually not intended. A lot of people in the end of strings are a little bit closer than that. Even the whole string here, they're quite a bit closer and a lot easier to hit with pokes. But yeah, there's a natural amount of space created from this, and you can really use it to mess with people. Alright, so now let's talk about one of the signature moves of the character, and that's back 1/1+3, this guy right here. So if it connects, easy peasy lemon squeezy, full combo confirmed, no big problem. Also, off a juggle. No matter where you are in a juggle, he'll just bring you in, and you're back grounded, right? Very easy to end combos with, very easy to start combos with, very strong. The one thing to note, and this is going to be definitely character to character, right? On block, as you can see here, no matter where you are, even if you hit the absolute tip of the move, you're going to be -17. And some characters can really mess with that, and some characters can barely touch it. Some characters in this game struggle for dealing with it even point blank, right? While some characters like Garrus or Cetrion, they can punish it anywhere if they block it at all, done for free. So that's the thing. You really got to know the matchup with this. But what makes this thing so strong, one, and we'll just turn off block here again, you're allowed to whiff the move, right? So you can be this far away and go for it, and then if it hits, it brings them in. And then easy peasy, get your combo, all that kind of fun stuff. The Shadow has no hurt box. Only Noob, the person here, the guy in the armor you're seeing, can be hit. So this can easily go through all sorts of attacks if they're like going in, trying to use footsie normals, that kind of stuff. They're poking or whatever they're doing. Doesn't care as far as the Shadow's concerned. Shadow just goes through all that crap, brings them in, and Bob's your uncle, you get it, right? So it's very strong as a whiff tool. And once again, some of the characters that can punish it point blank, they can't punish it from this far away, right? only certain characters can punish it from very far away. Once again, like Garrus, Cetrion, that kind of stuff. So that makes it a very strong tool in and of itself, just in neutral, in footsies. Once again, he's a very strong neutral character because of stuff like this, because of 4-2 is really good, like that kind of stuff. He's got options to stay at least, you know, down 3, all that, right? Now, another really strong thing, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know this, right? I guess a lot of people wouldn't think about it, right? You see this, you get it hit, okay, we'll go for it, right? This move, option select, auto hit confirms itself. So all I gotta do here, after the grab part of the circle comes out, I just hit down up. As you can see, my input's here on the left. I hit down up again, my teleport, right? Now, if the enemy is blocking, I do the exact same thing. Doesn't come out. It only comes out the teleport on hit. That's it. That's all. I cannot special cancel unless it hits. So you can input whatever you want, and it will always come out on hit, never come out on block. So the fact that it auto option selects itself is fantastic. Now, to be fair, the window to cancel under your special, it's not like it's short, right? But it's still enough that you could introduce an element of risk. Say you're playing online, say it's a especially laggy match. That's definitely an element of risk, right? But you could just always input your down up, and you'll always get it on hit, never ever get it on block, and never ever get it on whiff, just so you know. And yeah, just auto hit confirms itself. That's really handy. That's really, really good. And once again here, as a pure neutral tool, really good. People will want to bulldog you down here. Just let themselves walk into it. No, it's like no fuss, no muss. The only way they can really stop you is if they jumped. Anything else, any kind of advancing normal, any kind of advancing special, they got docked. And it's combo time for you. Alright, so now let's talk the restand. The restand is a very strong tool. Another feather in the hat of the competitive variation Dark Sabbath. As it's just really good. And a lot of restands in this game tend to be either poor or like purposely 0 on block, or sorry, 0 on hit rather, because they don't want you to do restands. They don't want you to do stuff like MK9 and MKX, right? But he can still do it. So say you do whatever combo, right? Doesn't really matter what the combo is. And bingo, bango, bongo, and with back 1, 1+3, and with your spirit ball here, and they're standing. And not only are they standing, you are at frame advantage. So you can see here it says hit advantage is 5. So you have recovered 5 frames earlier than the enemy will. So you can do a lot of stuff with this. So let's do something really basic here. So say they want to jump or whatever. Like they know at this point here, you know, you have the advantage, right? So this is step 1 of the multi-layer guessing game. So step 1 after your restand is just do back 2. Back 2 here, as you can see here, 12 frame startup. So if you're already 5 frames ahead, that means effectively it's like a 7 frame startup. And if they try to jump or whatever, if they do anything other than block, the back 2 is going to smoke them. Now obviously it's not a combo start or nothing, but what it is another solid 7%. Most of the combos you're going to end the restand in are usually anywhere from like 35 to 40% damage combos. And then another 7%, hey, sure, it works, right? So this is your keep them honest move. So they try to jump, do anything, the back 2 smacks them. So then at that point, you want them to basically block, right? And from that point, that's when you can start doing stuff like dash up throw, dash up down 3, you can go for a string or whatever. You just want them to just, you know, block and do whatever you can think of, whatever you can dream up to make them crack, right? And this is all off the back of back 2 will keep them honest. Now, back 2, just so you know, if they block it, you're negative, right? You have lost your turn. Oh, well. That's kind of the guessing game, right? That's just the price of doing business if they just stay honest and block, right? But if you chose to dash in, do whatever options you can think of, then you can go from there, right? That's just the nature of the mix. But yeah, the fact that you make them stand is the big deal here. So they are standing, no wake up roll, no wake up 3, no wake up 2, no defensive options off the ground. They're just standing like they were before they got comboed, right? So all their defensive options are completely out the window, and that's what makes restand so strong. So as far as being -5, and really only the threat of back 2 keeping them honest, Is this the best restand fighting game in history? Absolutely not. But since restands are so rare in this game, it makes it still an incredibly strong tool. Once again, you play around with it yourself, because everyone has different things. Once again, please keep in mind, the threat of the Mach 2 is the main thing to keep this honest, so they can't jump. Because if you just dash forward and try to chuck them or something, they jumped, well, they're going to get you, right? But yeah, just play around with it. It's such a strong tool. Alright, now that we've gone through all that stuff here, all these little techniques and tips and tricks, as the video is called, let's just talk the generalized game plan. So, he is definitely a neutral footsies character. I almost, despite like, you know, the weird NRS weirdness, like teleport slams and all that, I almost think of him like kind of like Ryu in a way. Maybe not quite as honest as Johnny Cage, but he's just all about pokes, counter pokes, footsies, shimmies, baits, and all that kind of stuff. A big part of his game plan is just he wants to be roughly in this range here. If he's out, he wants to do stuff like back three cancel into fireball. Now at absolute max range, it will not combo naturally, just so you know. You have to be like a pixel closer than round 1 fight position, but still, even if they block the other hit, it doesn't matter, right? You still get some damage out of it. But yeah, that outranges most people, so people got to take risks. If they take risks, when it comes to jump-ins, he has stand 1, he's got forward 3, he's down back 4. It's hard to jump on this character if he's expecting you, to be honest with you. Especially down back 4. It's like near impossible to jump on him with this. Forward 3 also, while just a smidge bit slower, lowers his hurt box and gives him a full combo opportunity afterwards. Once again, speaking of combo opportunities, please check the companion combo guide. His combo potential is basically among the highest in the game. Let's just put it that. It's really strong, right? He's got such strong built-in shimmy techniques, as we went over some of the other stuff in the video here. Like forward 2-2 kind of auto shimmies by itself, as it leaves you at a perfect spacing to just like back up and punish whatever they're going to try to hit you, as you know, nothing can punish -6, and they're far enough away that a lot of characters cannot reach from this far away, and you just walk back and punish whatever. We did the 2-1-2 shuffle part of the video here, so 2-1-2 is alright, but if you just do 2-1, if you're trying to hit confirm it, you're very far away. -5, once again, same deal. Easy punish a lot of stuff. Back 1 is a 9-frame mid. Now, we went over back 1, 1+3 is punishable by certain characters, right? But if you're just looking to check someone with a quick mid here, can't go wrong with that. But then again, please check some of the other sections if you're just skipping to the end here. Down 3 is so good. Oh my god, it's one of the best jails in the game. Because a lot of the really good jails in the game, like they only do their magic in the corner or something. This works everywhere on the screen here. Also, it is -5, which sucks, but it's got a decent amount of pushback for down 3. And it just opens a world if it hits. The 2-1-2 jails, throw mixes, all that kind of stuff. He is just an honest character. Like, he's got no weird 50-50 gimmicks. The restand's probably the dirtiest thing he has, and we already went over a section with that. He's just honest. He wants to play a strong footsies game here. He's got all the tools he needs to play it. He's got all the appropriate tools to control the lateral part of the screen. The second they want to get cheesy on you and start jumping, he's got all the tools to deal with jumpers. He's got a solid projectile game. A lot of people can't trade reliably against him because his projectile, once again, does 9%. So if you're just going hit for hit here, he's going to win because his fireball does more damage than yours for the most part, right? If you're doing basic projectile versus basic projectile. That's really strong. Also, once again, full screen, teleport starts keeping people honest as far as like punishes go. Can't do anything too wacky. He's just a very strong neutral character. If you're looking for someone who wins just off the fundamentals, not a lot of flash, not a lot of chutzpah, all that kind of stuff. If you just want to win off just basically being the better player, Noob Saibot is absolutely the character for you. He doesn't have the dirty stuff. That's why he's not top tier. Unless you're watching this video maybe 4 months from now, maybe he's like the most top tier character in the game. I don't know what the future holds for balance, but right now, he's downright solid, but he absolutely rewards solid play. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want to win off gimmicks, if you want to know when you won because you beat the enemy fair and square, and this guy can do it, he's got the tools for it, and it feels pretty good doing it. So yeah, if you're just looking for honest fight man, despite the fact he's a weird teleporting guy, because Mortal Kombat's Mortal Kombat, and that's just how that works, Noob Saibot is your honest fight man. So we now reach the end of the guide. I gotta say, in my time messing around with this character, doing lab and all that, I gotta say I had a lot of fun. He does a lot of stuff I find enjoyable at this game. He works with a lot of the more advanced concepts of Mortal Kombat 11, you know, like stuff like jailing, which is a very important concept. Please watch the companion video on that if you've never seen it. He's just got good normals, and he plays some solid Mortal Kombat. If you're looking for the rushdown, he's not the guy for you. There's certainly better characters for that. But if you just like playing a patient game, punishing mistakes, capitalizing on the moment when it appears, he's a pretty good guy for it. Anyways, that's it for me. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.